Well, here I am. I'm back from vacation. I know I'm a bit behind on making this video, but once again, I was on vacation. So here I am now. In this video, we're going to be ranking every track in Wave 4 of the Booster Course Pass. Let's get into it. Don't get me wrong, Riverside Park looks phenomenal in this game. They did a fantastic job at revamping this track. But at the end of the day, Riverside Park is still a GBA track. It's not super interesting, and while they did an amazing job to make it as interesting as they could, it's still a little boring. There aren't really many obstacles you have to watch out for, and the track itself is just kind of basic. But again, fantastic job for all the effort they put into making this a new track. Like, the piranha plants are a nice touch, the overall graphics are really nice as well, and I like that one kind of cave slash waterfall section, which is pretty cool and adds a lot to the track. If you ask me, this is definitely one of the better Mario circuits in the franchise. Mario Circuit from Mario Kart DS is actually pretty cool. There's a decent amount of obstacles like Goombas and Piranha Plants you have to watch out for, and the overall layout of the track isn't super boring compared to other Mario circuits. Honestly, I'm glad we got this Mario circuit and not one from a different Mario Kart instead. This one's alright in my books, and they also did a good job at revamping it. There's now an added forest section which looks really cool, and there's even a wiggler that comes out on the last lap, which is also pretty cool. Honestly, this track was pretty good, and gotta say, I am kinda glad it's in the game. Bangkok Rush is pretty good, don't get me wrong, but it's kinda boring. Compared to a few other city tracks from Mario Kart Tour, this one doesn't really have a lot going for it, and it just seems like they didn't really care about revamping this one at all. I get that they're trying to keep the tour tracks the same and all that, but this one just feels like it had the life sucked out of it or something. There's just not really a lot going on here, and it's mostly just a lot of driving. You do go in different directions each time, but that's pretty much the case for every tour track, and all in all, this isn't super interesting compared to some of the other ones we've seen. Singapore Speedway is very commonly talked about among the Mario Kart Tour fans, which makes sense. It's one of the better city tracks for sure. However, I'm not as big a fan as some other people are of this track. Don't get me wrong, it's fantastic. You go to some really cool locations in Singapore, and honestly, it's definitely one of the better city tracks. There's even a part where there's those conveyor belts that originated from Toad Factory that either make you go fast or make you go slow depending on which direction they're moving. It's really cool, and honestly, I do enjoy this track, but just not as much as other people. At the end of the day, it's still a tour track, so yeah. Amsterdam Drift might be my new favorite tour track. It keeps things fresh by letting you explore many different parts of Amsterdam. For example, Lap 1 has you exploring the regular city stuff in Amsterdam, whereas Lap 2 has you going underwater in the canals. I think it's really cool, and honestly, I think for a city track, it's really unique. This track stands out, which is not something I can say about the rest of the tour tracks. Everyone knows I'm a sucker for Waluigi, but this track is still good whether it's Waluigi themed or not, and I'm really glad we got to see it get brought back. It's a fantastic track, and I always thought it'd be cool to see this track with Mario Kart 8's physics. It's even cooler now that we have half-pipes in the game, and you can do all these cool tricks and even discover new shortcuts that weren't originally in Waluigi Stadium. I think this track is awesome, and it's so much fun to play. It's really cool seeing Waluigi get some love from this game, as he didn't have any tracks in it before, but now he has this track and Waluigi Pinball, which I think is really cool, and I'm really happy we got to see this track return. Plus, it's nice to have a GCN track finally. We've waited long enough for one of those. This is another track that's really cool to see return now that we have half-pipes. Half-pipes are basically what run DK Summit. Without half-pipes, you can't have DK Summit. I'm really glad we got to see this track return because it's a lot of fun and is one of the most iconic tracks from Mario Kart Wii. I love the skateboarding Shy Guys and all the bumps you can trick off of and all that. It's a lot of fun, and I'm really happy to see this track return in all its glory. Yoshi's Island. I have always wanted a Yoshi's Island theme track in Mario Kart. If I could have made any track be possible in the Mario Kart series, I would have definitely made one that's based off of Yoshi's Island, which is why this track is a dream come true for me and a lot of other people as well. This track flawlessly recreates the feel of Yoshi's Island. You got the Shy Guys that are walking on those, whatever they're called. You got the graphics that are basically just a modern take on the Yoshi's Island franchise and not redesigned at all. You got an underwater section, which is pretty cool. You got a sky section, which is pretty cool. And all in all, this track does a fantastic job of bringing Yoshi's Island into a Mario Kart track. It's fantastic, and it's probably one of my new all-time favorite Mario Kart tracks. It's fantastic, and I really, really hope we get to see more tracks like this in the future. So that's every track in Wave 4 of the Booster Course Pass ranked from worst to best. If I'm being completely honest, I was a little underwhelmed by this wave. Don't get me wrong, it was a lot of fun and I really enjoyed it, but the only track I was really excited for was Yoshi's Island. I mean, yeah, DK Summit and Waluigi Stadium are two amazing tracks that I was definitely excited for, but there wasn't that one track that just really gets you excited, you know? Whatever, that's just my opinion. I still enjoyed it nonetheless, and I'm really excited to see what Wave 5 and 6 are going to have in store for us. Anyways, that'll do it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time, but until then, keep being awesome Nintendo fans. Peace out.